Okay, so we are recording now. And oh my gosh, thank you for coming today. I know we have a small group, but I just want to reiterate that I wasn't kidding. I really handpicked people that I wanted to be here today, and you're it. So I only sent out 11 emails. I didn't send it to the larger list, but I am going to do another introduction. Let's see, when did I decide I was doing that? Oh my gosh. Now I lost that. Okay. I'll tell you in a minute. Let me tell you real quick. I'm going to do one because something popped up on my calendar today I wasn't anticipating. Let's see. It'll be the 13th. So that is next week. Anyway, you can come back if you want more, but you guys are providing me the space to talk about something I've been thinking about for a long time. So thank you for being the early adopters of what Jan's been thinking about. So it's going to be real informal because there's such an intimate group today. But I wanted to just tell you that I have been, everything that I put in the emails to invite you is exactly what I've been going through. So I knew that if I was going through something, other people were going through something similar. So I thought that what I always like to do is have support. I like to have people going through what I'm going through, and that helps me to get through what I'm interested in, which is making a difference for people. And so I found I did a disc test the other day. Um, at our church that I've just recently joined a church, and that's been a new part of my life that I haven't had. And it's just really the coolest people. I mean, it's young. I love seeing the young people as like a rock band. And we meet in a movie theater, like the Regal Cinema got closed down during COVID. And I mean, it's perfect. You get comfortable seats. It's a little dark, which kind of, can be a little strange at first, but, they've got a big stage and a big screen. They can use that. The acoustics are great. But I really just like the spirit in that in this church, it wasn't a lot of, you need to do it like this or forcing me to do things that felt uncomfortable. But I really, truly wanted to learn more about the Bible. So here I am. I got baptized and everything. I was dunked full on under the water. And what was really cool, my daughter came in town. This was the first weekend of January, and my whole family came, like my both grandsons, my new granddaughter-in-law, my other grandson's girlfriend came, my son-in-law. They were all here to support me, to watch me to get dunked. I think they've been praying that I would, leave my heathen lifestyle or something. But anyway, it was really sweet. And anyway, it's a very non-denominational type church, but this is kind of this call is kind of evident of the changes that I'm making. And that's just one piece where I've decided to explore that I hadn't. And that's kind of like behind the scenes at this particular stage of life that I decided, what am I curious about? Where have, the road is getting shorter probably ahead rather than it used to be. You had the whole rest of your life to look forward. And now I'm looking at, well, where did I not spend time that I might like to be curious to learn more about? And that's been my thought process. So I've tried a few things that didn't manifest very well, like skiing. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to get into snow skiing. I'm going to be the oldest grandmother out on the slopes. And I had a terrible skiing accident. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm not going to be a famous skier at this stage of the game. So I'm taking that off the list. And then art, I'm like, I love art. I've got, like a whole supply cabinet over here full of art supplies that are just sitting there looking cute, but not being used. I'm like, okay, so I took a workshop on that. That hasn't really explored uh, to the capacity that I might like to. But anyway, so I took a disc test and it evaluated what my spiritual gifts are. And shocker, one of my main spiritual gifts is doing this, leading groups, and in their terminology, since it was given through the church, maybe they worded it a little differently, but they called me a shepherd, like I shepherd people. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's me. I like to shepherd people. Okay, Julie says she can see her camera and mic aren't working. That's okay, Julie. You can just pop in the text, the chat, anything you want us to know. Thank you. And
What is a disc test? What is a
it's DISC. And I might get a copy of it and use it in the class that I'm going to tell y'all about. But anyway, it just rates you on different qualities, like that we would call a quality or an attribute. They called it your spiritual gifts. And I think that's really the my big takeaway from it was to remind me that when I am being true to what my spiritual gifts are, I'm happier and my life feels like it's on track. So that's part of why I'm here today. And thank you for, being supportive of that. I had a handful of really wonderful one-on-one calls. I had offered that, and some of you here were people I talked to, and that was really great. But I'm also leading one other group on Sunday mornings for a group of women who are part of that church, and we're doing a book study. And one of the things I learned out of doing that was that I really love young women, and surrounded by a lot of people my age and thereabouts. But I've got two young women. Well, one young woman is in her 20s. She's got a little 5-year-old, and another one is 35 years old, and and one is 60. So, I'm the elder all of a sudden. And so, all of these kind of things are giving me, like, okay, how do I want to be the elder now? Owning that, like, yeah, I can do some things that other people are just coming through their experiences with. So that's one reason I'm here, is to be able to share some things, but mostly I'm here to provide a collaborative group. And so we'll chat about that today a little bit. So in fact, that would be my next question, is to ask each of you that are here today, if you wouldn't mind sharing, what brought you here today? What inspired you to take time and hop on a Zoom call, which, we all do so many of, I guess. But what got you here today? And Julie, I know your camera isn't working, but you can pop it in the chat if you want, and I'll read it out. So who wants to start us off with that? Kira's on the phone. So Kira or Janice or Julie? You want to?
I can start, Jan. Can you hear me?
Okay, Kira, please.
I saw your invitation. We had that call, so that sparked my interest. I'm working on reviving my passion for helping women love their bodies, and that was the work that all those years ago. So I was just like, well, what's next? I'm gonna sign up and see what Jan is up to. So
okay,
that's why I'm here.
You're here for that. Yep. At one time I had a certification training program that Kira was part of, and I shared the strategic attraction planning process in that certification training. And other people that came through that then offered that to their client base. So Kira is one of those people. And we even got you over to Santa Fe one time, right?
Yeah, twice.
Twice.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh.
it was
Twice.
yes, yes, and it was the second time that I came up with the Love Your Body Blueprint, as I remember. It wasn't
Okay.
until then that
Yeah.
that sparked. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the certification training program, part of that was to come to Santa Fe. And I did a little, some retreats around that. So cool, Kira, it's fun. And we'll hear more from you about what you're doing currently and that sort of thing. But Janice, you want to share what got you here today or inspired you to be here?
Yeah, I've forgotten what you call the dating blueprint. What was it? The perfect
The
dating,
dating blueprint.
the dating blueprint. Okay, good.
Divine dating blueprint, I think. But
Yeah, well, I am joined. I've known of Jan's work for many, many years, at least 10, probably more like 15 years, when she did the Find Your Perfect Customer. And I always thought that was really, I really love the twist that you put on that. And then, I'm getting older and so you offered the course in the dating blueprint, and it was a very non-threatening, easy course to be part of. So when I saw you were doing, and I'm in that part of my life where I'm really evaluating what it is what's going to take me down that short road that you were alluding to, and it seemed like a perfect group to get together with to talk about some of these ideas and some of the alternatives and to go into those in depth. So, and the perfect shepherd. So we're there. And I'm here.
Julie, oh, here she put in the chat. She says, I'm interested in chatting with other women who are also at a crossroads and looking for the next step in their lives and ideas, looking for ideas. So yeah, I think that's true for all of us, I would say. I pulled some cards for us. Would y'all like to see them before we started? And I thought these came out really perfectly. I'll share them with you. I like the cards. Y'all know that. This is the first one. It's called Strategy. So I figure that's pretty apropos. It's got a journal with a feather in front of it, feather quill pen, I mean. And so I think that we're coming together today for that very reason, is that we're all looking for a bit of a strategy. We don't want to do things the way we always did them in the past, but I think it's time to write the new plan, write the new strategy. And then this was the next card that came out, and it's called Journey. And I think that's also this lady's on a bridge that, goes from place to place. And it looks like she's got some bags that are behind her. That's what I noticed about this. And one of her hands, it's kind of like waving goodbye, like waving goodbye to the past. And then up ahead is a signpost with multiple arrows pointing in different directions. And so I think this card is really apropos as well, that, from what we're all discussing here, we're at crossroads, we're at a new time of our life, we're letting things go in the past, we're looking ahead. What are all the options? And so that card really depicted that. And then the third card is the heart, the fourth chakra. And this is the archangel Raphael. I like Raphael. Let's see, what do I see on the card that I haven't noticed before? So, what Raphael seems to point out to me in this card is that where it all starts is in the heart. They've got to bring heart. We want to touch back into what's important to us in our hearts so that the heart guides the way, not the head. Like the head says, maybe do something that you've always done because that's the, familiar thing. But I think that this is what these three cards are all saying, is that time for a new strategy, and what's in your heart, and what would you like? Where would you like to go? So I think that's really the message for all of us today, and anybody that might listen to this recording. So I thought I would share a little bit about some of the other things that I've been playing with in my own awareness. And oh great, my internet connection is wobbly as usual. But I wanted to, if you've got a piece of paper and you can just canoodle on it a little bit, I'm going to give you some names, some words, and I'd like you to just write these down, okay? So these are, I would call them categories. And I know there's a lot of categories of places we could be in, and maybe you'll add a few to the list, which is fine. But I want you to just write the list down, and then we're going to kind of put little stars or check marks by which ones stand out as, your top three, let's say. So, all right, here's the list. Relationships. And that could be relationships with anybody, relationship with yourself, could be relationships with another, friendships or dating, family. Just write down relationships. Finances. I wrote increase. I like to think of it that way. Finances increase. Decrease anxiety and overwhelm. If that's something that's been true for you, write down decrease anxiety and overwhelm. Creativity. One of my favorite words in the whole vocabulary is creativity, because I love to create. I just love to create. However, is there enough creativity in my life? That's something I will explore. The next category would be health, vitality, and strength. How are you doing in that area? Is that good for you? You need more? Is that an area that you need some focus? The next one is getting in the zone. When's the last time you felt like I'm really in my zone? I'm just cruising and all the cylinders are clicking and I'm just in that zone. I'm like, okay, is that when I'm sleeping? Because I'm pretty much in my zone when I'm sleeping, but during the day, I'm a bit of a fog. Maybe you relate to that. Some of my days look like that too. Noticing sacred synchronicity. So you probably heard me talking about sacred synchronicity over the last few years. And that can mean different things for different people, but are you having opportunities where things just kind of show up and you're like, wow, I just thought about that. And here it showed up. I had a sacred synchronicity last night. It was really wild. I was, so I've been dating on the dating apps, and I got really annoyed because I got a scammer. Okay. And I fell for it. I was like, that's what really annoyed me, is that I didn't see through it. Usually I think I'm pretty good at seeing through it. But that one, I mean, I caught it early on. Nothing happened. I never met them. I didn't give them money or anything like that. I didn't sleep with them. Of course, they don't exist. But anyway, so I canceled that app. And last night, I keep my dating apps because I want to look at my phone all the time. Is so and so liked me or not? I just keep it on my iPad next to the bed. Last night, I heard a little ding that comes through when something pops into my iPad. And I looked over there, and it was on that dating app, which is called Bumble. I canceled Bumble, and I'm not paying for Bumble, but I still have the app on my iPad. Anyway, heard a little ding, and I'm like, so and so likes you. I'm like, how is that possible? I mean, I'm not even on the app anymore. Anyway, this fellow said which is true, in my profile that I guess is still active on their site that I didn't know about, it says, that what I notice most in people is their energy.
Mhm.
And then I had a few things under that, but the leading phrase was energy. And he said that was important to him. So anyway, we had this nice little exchange on the app, and I'm like, I don't even know how this is possible. I canceled my program. But it was like a sacred synchronicity, like just popped out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't looking for it. And so how many of those are showing up for you? Whenever those show up, it means something is starting to come in alignment. Another category is wisdom. How often do you can look at this two ways. Do you have a desire to expand your wisdom? Like you want to learn how to knit and crochet, or you want to learn how to do multimedia artwork, or go down to Kira's horse ranch and learn to ride a horse or something. Is wisdom on your list of categories of increasing? Or from a sharing perspective, is sharing your knowledge or your wisdom a category that you're getting to explore? Another category is spiritual gifts. We talked about that already. Contribution, talked about that a little bit. Personal happiness. And I wrote down another one of my favorites, in addition to creativity, is intuition. For me, intuition is important. I like to increase my ability to tune in, let's say. So look over the list and circle or put a check mark next to at least three that are important to you right now. Maybe they haven't been in the past, but currently they're showing up as something you're interested in. And so I'm going to do the same thing. It's my own list. I'm going to take out. So get my pen open. Also, when you look at the list, if there's something else you want to add that it's not on the list, go ahead and add it.
It's really hard to put this down to 3 without.
Okay, 4. I know it's too big.
I like them all.
I like them all. I like them. All right. What are your
Yeah, I
3?
like that because
Go ahead, Kira.
oh, I like that you added a fourth because I was like, well, getting in the zone will help me be creative. So, but yeah, I was torn between those two. So I like the 4.
Okay. So you're gonna lump some of yours together. Okay, it's your list. You can play with it. But I was noticing, what I noticed is like last year, I really took on health, vitality, and strength. Um, I was in a car accident December 22, right before Christmas, worst Christmas ever.
Mm.
3 days before Christmas holiday, and I hurt everywhere.
Well, is there a difference though between what you might be focused on and what you'd like to do in this group?
I want you to just put where you are now. Like I was, like after the car wreck, my whole focus was on health, vitality, and getting stronger. But I'm pretty good in that area right now, so I'm going to pick some other area now that I haven't been exploring. So that's kind of how I would recommend.
Like, I'm sorry to be so self-centered, but health is obviously a big concern for me right now, but I don't particularly want to explore it in the group. I mean, that's
That's okay. No, this is not, you're not publicly announcing anything or anything, just for your own knowledge, really, just to get present to
okay.
happening in your world right now. All right, so Julie, you want to type yours in if you can into the chat, and Kara, you want to share yours? Or Janice?
Creativity and finances.
Okay, the first one said creativity, did you say?
I didn't really put them in any order. I just kind of marked them. But yeah, so creativity, finances, getting in the zone, and health and vitality.
Okay. Okay. All right, good. I just didn't hear you. You don't have to put them in a priority list. So me, I put down relationships, creativity, and sharing my knowledge, and finances. Yeah. Anybody else? What did you notice? Oh, good, Julie. Synchronicities, creativity, intuition, and finances. That's good. What about you, Janice? You want to share yours?
Well, as I said, I sort of like them all. So
One of each. You'll have one of each.
yeah, I'll have one of each, okay? Um, so I'll relationships, creativity, health, wisdom, increasing, sharing.
Okay, excellent. Well, one of the things about this list, like you said, I like them all. I want them all. I want you to have them all, and anything else that's important to you. And so one of the things that I thought we would be exploring would be our top, but noticing that we don't want to leave anything out, like um, something that might be on my list would be sharing my knowledge, but I don't want to leave out um, relationships, let's say. Just because I'm sharing my knowledge, I don't want to X that out. I believe that when we're present to all the areas of that are important to us, it's important to give each one a little bit of energy to move it all forward. And so even though you've got your priorities, and you've seen this in the past, possibly maybe you were like this. I never was a real workaholic, but I definitely worked a lot back in the day. And a lot of things just fell through the cracks that I wasn't able to focus on. I didn't have the bandwidth or something like that. So, but I started learning to kind of spread my attention and energy out a little bit because, for example, if I was really involved in a project or a work project, I would find that a creative project would fuel me in other areas. So I think that's why it's good to kind of give your list a once over to determine where am I going to put my priorities and how can I move everything ahead at the same time. So that's just to get you started to thinking about different places that might be coming up for you to explore. And that's really what our intention is for coming together is remembering even, oh yeah, I have all those art supplies in the cabinet. I bought them 18 years ago when I moved to Santa Fe because everybody in Santa Fe does art, right? And I'm like, went to the art supply, spent, too much money. I just added to it and added to it. I had a lovely collection, but maybe it's time to get them out of the mothballs and put those paints to use. Um, so here's kind of like what I'm thinking about for our future is where could you use a group of women to help support you in moving those things ahead? It's so easy to get lost in the shuffle. My day can get very monochromatic, and I just start doing the same things over and over, whether they're, it's not really any strategy to it at all. There's no real heart to it. But underneath all of that, just because I may be at a crossroads or in a new phase of my life, doesn't mean that I have to forget about everything. I think it's an opportunity to explore things that I am not currently exploring. And so what would be some things, does that spark anything for anybody? Like I said, what's this Bible thing? I never really studied the Bible. I never had it. I wasn't one of these, I didn't grow up in a household where it was just, shoved down my throat or anything. I wasn't forced into Catholic girls' school. I didn't have any of those nightmares. In fact, I had a very enjoyable childhood at a neighborhood church. So I didn't have any war stories, but I never was very interested to learn more. Now I am. Like, what's that all about? So anybody else have anything that you're wanting to explore that you haven't yet? Mhm.
This is Kara. I feel like I'm doing that already with my horses and with the Love Your Body Blueprint, and sharing that again, and just connecting with those old passions. I too have lots of art supplies, but my time is elsewhere right now. So that's what I'm doing.
Why don't Kara's got an amazing story. Tell us about your horse ranch. How did that happen? How did you create that?
Well, it was at the second retreat where we were going through the strategic attraction plan, and I had a memory of riding my sister's pony in the backyard, and how much that brought me joy. And it took a few more years, but then, gosh, almost 7 years ago, I got my first horse as an adult, and then just last summer, we got invited to come out to northern New Mexico. We're like 2 hours and 15 minutes from Santa Fe, just north, I believe. And we got invited to come out, bring my 2 horses, and live on this 900-acre ranch in the middle of nowhere. So that all kind of sparked with Jan in Santa Fe, which is kind of fun. But we're in the same area, so.
Yeah, I want to come see you too. So.
No,
Okay.
absolutely.
You aren't, so you're having to learn a whole new way of living. It sounds like, going from, you were in California before,
Yes.
not on a 900-acre
Yes.
ranch, and now you have a
No.
opportunity, can be overwhelming, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's been an adjustment, just healthcare and groceries and just the basic things. So that part has been a learning, everything, like how to keep everything from freezing at night and all that. But the horses love it, and they're so much healthier now. So I call it our rewilding. So
I like that word, rewilding. I love that. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rewilding. All right. I'm borrowing that word. Did I give you that word? Somebody gave it to me, I think, but I forgot about it.
It's a whole movement in terms of.
And I remembered when.
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Janice. What were you going to say?
I was going to say it's a whole movement, rewilding, but it usually refers to taking over land that has become more fallow and rewilding it, making it more
Okay.
the nature into different growths,
Gotcha. Were you going to add something on that, Kara?
Oh, I was just going to say, the first time I found you, Jan, I just remembered when someone else I can't remember who it was speaking, is I got your book back in 2016 from my marketing coach. You're Attracting Perfect Customers. So it's been longer than that. but 2014 is when I think I joined your program. So it's been a journey.
It has been, just like the card said, journey. Okay, cool. Julie wrote in the chat, I think I'm on autopilot right now too. I feel like I want to find a new direction to get refocused. So, boy, I relate to that quite a bit.
I'm on the cusp of doing a lot of different things in my life. And I think one of the big things is instead of doing all the time, to sort of relaxing, to make space, to let the creativity in. I'm changing the way that I've been more of an academic biographer, and I'm thinking of changing more to sort of historical fiction. And I don't know, I'll explore with that. And yeah, and I want to use the art supplies to unleash some of that creativity. I always sort of put it on the back burner, and I have it from 15 years ago, probably too. It's funny how many of us have that, because you know what? It's sort of a fantasy about, oh, I don't care about painting. I was going to do more drawing or something, about letting yourself go free, being free, having that time to not to detach from the world, because you're not necessarily, I mean, this isn't your vocation, it's your advocate, it's your, it's, I don't know. Anyway, I think you get what I mean, but allowing space for those things to happen and seeing where it takes me. And that's not usually my modus operandi.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I'm kind of like had to let go of all the structure maybe that I had lived in for so long. I mean, I think back and I'm like, how did I ever do that?
I know, just getting up and going to work every day at a certain time,
I used to sit in front of a computer. I mean, it was just like get up, eat breakfast, have coffee, computer. And I was there all day until the night. And I think back now and I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't checked emails in days, So, and now we can check them on our phones, so we don't have to go sit in front of a computer. We can look at them wherever we go, etc. But I know what you mean. I cannot put myself back in that lifestyle ever again. I won't fit. I don't fit anymore. And I'm different. I'm 71 years old now. I don't have the same desires. Mother Nature knows what she's doing, when she says, when you get older, you're not going to have the same interest. And I don't even care about some things that I used to care about,
It's kind of delightful to be able to, sit and look at the river go by or something, whatever it might be.
Yeah. So yeah, I think back, well, when I lived in Houston, there was a park called Memorial Park. It's kind of in the center of the Galleria area, if that makes sense to anyone. Anyway, it's 3 miles. It's got kind of like a forest of trees in the middle, and then you walk around the trail around outside 3 miles.
Wow. Houston size.
Yeah, I mean,
it's big.
Tons of people. People are going there all hours of the day. But what I remember is that how many women would go and they still have on their makeup. They've got this little coordinated jogging outfit, they got it at the Fleet store, the Runner's Fleet store or something in River Oaks, like tennis shoes match, their socks match, their top. And I would wear like an oversized t-shirt with maybe a pair of shorts underneath it. But anyway, so different lifestyle, moved to Santa Fe, and I was always overdressed wherever I went. I was like, why do I even worry about what I'm dressing? People here don't worry about what I'm wearing. And I even go to the grocery store now completely naked, meaning
This goes at home, right?
And it's kind of a things I don't care about anymore. that aren't important, and other things are more important. So let's see, Julie, you added a couple of things. You said, I'm thinking that I'd like to relocate or maybe just travel and see some new places. I want to paint some different scenes. It's delightful to start all over again. It really is. This is can be a delightful period where something new is starting and all of that. So, let's see. I wanted to do a little visioning exercise. So just settle back and let your list go and whatever else you are thinking about today. And just invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to close my eyes as well. Just take some nice deep breaths. And maybe you're like me. I forgot to do visioning. You know, somewhere along the way, that used to be a real important part of my world, and it just fell away. So I'm going to reclaim that right now. And just invite you to do the same. Maybe there's something you let fall away that you want to reclaim. So let's just close our eyes and tune into our beautiful core of energy, our self and our higher self. And just see that we're all on a journey together. We may end up, maybe starting at different places and going to different places. But we, for whatever reason, have been brought here together today to connect, to blend our energies. There's a reason for that. And just tune into whatever that energy might be and how it might feel. And just acknowledging your own energy and where you are at this place just is exactly where you're meant to be. There's no other place that we were meant to be right here, right now. Let's celebrate that in our own internal way. Just take a deep breath. And just imagine yourself like the lady on the card, standing in the middle of a bridge. And behind you are the old, the past, the good memories, the less than perfect memories. All of that's in your past now. And here you are at this beautiful new part of your life, this new part of your journey. And see that there's a long road ahead of you. You're crossing over a bridge. You earned the right to be here. It didn't come easily, but you persevered. It didn't come on a silver platter. You had to reach for it. And now you've experienced what you were supposed to experience. Now just let that go. And as you look ahead, maybe there's some signposts with different eras pointing in different directions, saying you need to go this way or that way. But just behind this sign, I'd like you to see an open door. A door that has been closed up until now. And as you walk up to the door, see that door starting to open. And just on the other side of the door, as you look through the opening, look and see what you see. Do you see colors? Do you see something visual, such as a mountains or a garden or an ocean? And just look through the doorway and see the whole new perspective that's opening up. And as you look through that doorway and maybe you step inside a little bit, start to notice how you feel. Is there an excitement? Are you scare-sighted? Like a friend of mine says, when she's a little scared and a little excited. Is there a particular smell? Does the air feel different? Can you smell something that you've never noticed before? Maybe it's a perfumey or flowery or essential oil smell. And just take some nice deep breaths. And maybe as you're envisioning your new doorway that's opening, you'd like to greet it. You know, maybe your arms just come wide open and you just say, I don't know what's ahead, but I'm ready to go. And you're open. Your body language says, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm open. I'm taking on a new beginning. And just let that filter through your whole physical body, your whole energy field. And know that everything has already been prescribed. You chose this when you came to the planet. And now the door has opened. You have prepared yourself to be here, and the opportunity is right in front of you. And now just don't close the door, but maybe step back through it into where you are today. And then in a moment, we're going to open our eyes, and I want you to just take out your paper, if you have one handy, your pen and paper, and just write down anything that you want to remember about what you saw, what you felt, what you heard, what you smelled. And go ahead, and when you're ready, open your eyes and just start to write. Let you keep writing if you need another minute or so. So if you want to continue to write, I'm just going to share mine. It's not very long, but I'll share what I wrote down. In that beautiful vision, I felt the cool air of springtime, and there was a garden of abundance. There were mountains and an ocean. I was strong and excited. I was clear, and while there was no clear path, it felt right. And I was happy to know a bright path was there that was ahead. Anybody want to share theirs? And thank you, everybody, for your intimate sharing today and for being here. I loved in the vision that it came to me to say that there was a reason the four of us were brought together today. It was perfect. That was my pre-call meditation to just ask for the perfect people to be here today. And that is you. So who wants to share?
Oh, I don't mind going.
I can share.
All right, go ahead. Janice, then Kira.
Okay. Opening the door, I saw a bright sun with a rainbow of colors under it. It was almost as if I were on the yellow brick path to Oz. I was excited really to go, filled with vitality. Curiously, there was no one with me. I wanted to bring companions with me, but perhaps this was a vision of my personal path. And I have to say that immediately before this call, I was on another one where I was sort of exploring my writing and what I was good at and what I wasn't good at. And so the word that came to me, it was almost like, sort of an answer to what I'd been thinking about, was about character development and how important characters are, and how that's a really strong area for me to learn how to do. So that's sort of a personal thing.
Oh, that's interesting. Character development. Cool.
You
Yeah, you're a writer. I don't think everybody knows that about you, but you're a writer. So let's see, Kira, you want to share yours?
Mine just had two main things, and one was the dappled gray mare that has been coming to me in visions, who we're trying to find each other at this point. And the next was just Native American like drumming ceremonies, which I don't have any contact with yet, but I'm curious about that. There's not that many Native Americans left in the area that I'm, even though there's all kinds of pottery and evidence of them being here on this land, there's not many of them in my town at all. So I kind of am curious about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That is interesting.
But that was it. It was just the gray mare and Native American rituals. So I was like, okay.
That is cool. Let's see, Julie wrote in the chat, she said, I'll need to meditate a bit longer on the image of the open door. I'm welcoming new beginnings. So yeah, I think we're all kind of, it's not defined. Nobody got the manual. So, okay, here's your manual. Follow this now. So it is a creation. So that's mainly what I prepared for you today. I think Kira fell off. Come back. She fell off the horse.
I thought it was so interesting how, well, she and I think you to a certain extent got messages around what we were doing.
Yeah.
And what direction to go.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
Yeah, I think maybe for me, the biggest takeaway of that visioning was, um, like in contrast, my mind can say, is this all there is?
Mm.
Reach this part of my life, is this all there is? Isn't that a song? I won't sing it for you. But yeah, going from that thought to there's a lot more ahead. This is not all there is. This was just, I got to this part of the journey and the door is open and I don't see the exact path, but I knew the path was there. And so it seemed like I had to just kind of or like I have to be willing to walk through the door and just start taking steps without knowing exactly what the path looks like.
I sort of feel like it's a second life. I mean, being given a chance. And I wish I had felt this way. I mean, they always say that youth is wasted on the young, but 30 or 40 years ago, because it's almost like there are all these things that are interesting to me. And as you said, which I'm not sure which one I'm going to go down, but it's really an array of opportunities as opposed to things closing down. I mean, it's more like you have the chance to make this not all there is. So
Yeah.
much more
Yeah.
I was feeling.
There you go.
Oh, there's Kira.
Okay, Kira, you're back on it. Sorry, did you fall off the horse?
I don't know. I just all of a sudden I was gone. So yeah.
Okay, well,
Thanks for letting me back in.
we were just kind of sharing a little bit, but well, I am going to bring the call to a close, but I want to tell you what I have in mind as a group. And I'd love you to be part of that. If you're feeling it, that would be awesome. The whole email about reinvent, reignite, and renew is the theme of the class. And I've been noodling, canoodling, and that'll change a few dozen times. But I'm planning to start the class April 3rd. And that is a Thursday. Today is a Wednesday, but I'm going to do the classes on a Thursday. And it'll be the same time as today, which is, let's see, 11 Mountain. Julie, I forgot where you live. Are you Eastern? Anyway, Eastern be 1 o'clock. Okay. And it'll be 6 sessions, 6 live sessions with real people, not, we're not going to be a large group. We're going to be intimate like this. I am going to, you're Pacific, so it'll be 10 o'clock for you, Julie. Anyway, I am going to do another introductory call next week and maybe another one through March, and then started on April the 3rd. 6 sessions once a week, 90 minutes each. And there will be in my Kajabi program, I'll have a little course format that you can keep. So it'll have your recordings, any class materials that I might develop. And then I'm going to include for you as a bonus, a one-on-one call with me. And so that'll be an hour call. You can use it whenever you want, or you can even chop it in half if you say, hey, I just need 30 minutes and split it up. You can do that. But that you'll have a one-on-one with me. And if you've had a one-on-one with me, I'm pretty insightful and intuitive. So I bring a lot to the table that way. And I love it. And here's the 3 areas. Let me just kind of give you a little gist of what I'm thinking. So we'd start with reinventing yourself. So inside of that part will be probably 2 sessions. We cover that about going in new directions, opening to possibilities, charting a new course. These are just some of the notes that I've been putting down. Visioning, overcoming limiting beliefs, letting go of what's been, and identifying your strengths and claiming who you are now. I think that's one of the most important things, that we got to let go of who we've been, because we're just not that anymore. And embracing, who is that? Who am I currently? And then the next section would be reignite your reason for being. That'll be probably 2 sessions. So get in touch with what's important to you now. Attracting your perfect tribe of supportive people. I'll share the attraction plan with you. And letting your light shine. That's kind of that section. And then renew your declaration for where you are now, who you are now, and what's going forward. I'll share with you what makes you tick. We'll, tune into that. Some of you are familiar with that, but more than likely, this is kind of funny, Kara. I don't know if you've heard me say this, but I used to say that once you get what makes you tick, that's it for life. Like that's who you are. This is you. You got it when you were born, and now this is you. What makes you tick? However, I am reclaiming that thought, and I realize what makes me tick changed. And I'm like, oh man, I told so many people that never changes. So I'm retracting. So we'll work with each of us to get what makes you tick. And if you're not familiar with that kind of wording, it's really the purpose, your purpose, giving language or words to who you are. You already probably know this innately, but you may not have put words with it. And so having kind of your own back in our certification training programs, people will call it their tick statement, which is kind of jargony and weird to sound, but it'll be your statement. You'll find that, it's very empowering to remind yourself of that every day. You can't talk right now.
Yeah, I found that too, Jan. My tick changed.
Did it? Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. It just went deeper.
Yeah. Yeah. What makes me tick, all these years, what my statement has been, what makes me tick is being voice of feminine spirit. And that was really, that still is important to me. It's really important to me to be a feminine spirit, because I found in our masculine energy world, all of the feminine energy things that I think are so vital to my beingness in the planet weren't really revered. Even by me, I was discounting them. But feminine spirit really incorporates creativity, intuition, flow, being able to dance or just move, and without being structured all the time. I need that, graceful ability to feel flowy and not like I'm in a box, or not that I'm on a path that only goes in one direction. So, and then when I started reviewing who I am now, and that could change again, but sacred synchronicity, I found I was the voice of sacred synchronicity. What is that? I'm like, well, I didn't know what feminine spirit was when I started voicing it. And I had to grow into it. And now I feel like I'm still embodying voice of sacred synchronicity. And I kind of set it on the sideline for a while, but I'm reclaiming that. And maybe it's going to morph into some new rendition of that as we meet. So those are just a couple of things that I've been working with, and maybe we'll find out what yours is. And then I'll also, in our third section of renewing your declaration for being, we'll talk about who are you now, and what is the being that you're going to carry forward from this point further, and making some declarations. I think there's a lot of power in being able to speak it forth. And I used to do a lot of landmark education programs. I'll give them credit for this idea, but I loved it, that we used to call it was a future. We call it speaking your future into existence. But I just call it declaring who you are now. And it's like being a visionary, seeing a future world without poverty, without strife, or whatever your passions are, it'll be there for us to create and declare that to each other. And then just part of that would be how are we going to carry that forward? And so those are just some of the things that are kind of a broad brush overview of what the 6 weekly sessions will be about. So you're getting a super deal, $197. I am going to charge later on. I'm going to be using you as my help to create a course, and your secrets are safe with our group. It won't be that. It will just be in the future when I deliver the course. It may not be so much one-on-one interaction, and it will be a lot more expensive. Probably be in the $500 range. But for now, I think this is a fair price to invite you to pay. I mean, I charge $197 for a one-on-one with me. So, you have a one-on-one, you've got 6 live sessions, and a great group of people. So, anyway, I think if I did this and didn't erase it, hold on, I'm going to put, it works. Okay. There's a link in the chat, and I'll email it to you as well, but you can check it out. I kind of repeated a lot of some of the things you've already heard. But I'd love for you to go ahead, and if you can see your way being part of this, we'll get going on April 3rd. And if the price is an issue for you, just email me separately. We'll talk about it. I don't want anybody that really wants to participate to have a struggle with that. But anyway, questions or comments before we close for today?
It's fun. Thank you.
Okay, you liked it?
Really, yes, it was good.
Was it valuable for you to be here?
Absolutely.
Okay. As you think about it, what would you say, and this is for anybody, what's the most valuable takeaway that you'll take with you out into the world as we close today? What are you taking away with you?
Well, I personally am taking the vision. That was a very important thing. And I also liked when you were doing the categories, I thought, I thought you were going to just sort of the traditional categories, finance, health, whatever. And it was really nice to have a different kind of perspective on those categories. So that was very enlightening to me.
Oh, okay, good. That's good feedback. Thank you. What about you guys? Anybody else? Julie or Kira? What are you taking with you out into the world today?
I can go. This is Kara. That things evolve in perfect order, and we kind of return to things as well. As I was sharing about my process, it's like, gosh, back with horses, back with the strategic attraction plan, and that it just builds on each other. It just builds over time and becomes more nuanced and more powerful as we move forward. So that's what I'm taking away.
Okay. Yeah. Important. That reminds me of something that was really pivotal for me, if you don't mind me sharing one more little story. And Julie, I'll share what you put in the chat. But something you said, Kira, really sparked it for me, that I've been, y'all know that I've had my business for 22 years. And for, a big part of that, when Alan and I were together before he died, that was just my life. I never even thought about doing something different. It was just the way it was. And then after he died, it was hard to do that on my own. Like I thought, oh, I'll just pick up the pieces and keep going. I just couldn't do it. And I played with a lot of different subjects, like I did bring sacred synchronicity and kind of worked with that with some groups around that. And, all in the guise of something will click for me, when's something going to click? And then I've been dating, so I thought, well, I'll do the dating blueprint, and that was fun. And, I'm just, again, just looking for the big thing that's going to say, oh, this is the big movement forward. And so I signed up for a course last fall with Chris Kyle. It's kind of a pricey thing, but I'm like, well, it'd be worth it, to see what's happening, how he's doing it, how are things being done. It was a course creation program. And I was going to create a course around dating blueprint. So, and he does his course, a lot of it's online self-study style, and then 2 live classes a month. And so I was on the first one of the live ones, and I thought, well, maybe I'll just kind of tell him what I'm thinking about, because I haven't really started anything yet. And so, and I'm like, he doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know that I kind of had a business. Now I'm doing this. So I decided he needed to know this. But anyway, so I said, here's my thought. I just wanted to share that and get any feedback that you can offer. And I said, I'm looking at creating the course around the Divine Dating Blueprint and so on and so forth. I said, and just to let you know, my background, I've had a business for 20 plus years around attracting perfect customers. And so I'm kind of letting that go, and I'm moving into the divine dating arena. And he said, well, that's really 2 very separate audiences. Somebody would be interested in dating, isn't necessarily interested, and previously you were mostly business people. And he said, but do something for me, Jan. He said, close your eyes and just drop into your heart and ask yourself, where does my heart, where does my soul want me to play? Does it want me to go into the other direction of divine dating blueprint, or does it want me to go attracting perfect customers and all that represented? And I was so shocked that it was just loud and clear. I had never done that with myself, that it was attracting perfect customers. And it was just like, I shocked myself in my answer. And I told him that, and I went, I have to say, I'm really shocked. And he said, that's where if I was going to say what I got for you would be in that direction. So I hung up the phone, and I had a big reaction to it. I felt it all over my body. I had to go lay down. I have to go get prone whenever I have these big revelations and close my eyes. This is how I process. And I realized, something, that I was pushing away happened because Alan died. Alan was my husband, my business partner. We were brought together to share that vision together. And when he died, I just felt like all of that died with him. And then I realized, no, that I had that vision, that dream before he ever came on the scene. Like, that was my thing. That was my purpose. It had nothing, I started that before I knew him. Anyway, so here I am. I picked that back up. I'm like, okay, I saw that sometimes we can go off on different tangents, but the real truth of the matter, this what we're doing here today, this is where my heart lies. This is where my soul direction wants me to go. And it'll have some new variations of what I did before. But that's why I'm here today.
So Jan, you got the answer that you wanted to, your soul was saying that you wanted to do attracting perfect customers, but then it really wasn't, because this is an attracting perfect customers what we're
It
doing now.
really, it's part of it is that I am going to be sharing the strategic attraction plan. That it really is the heart and soul of the sacred knowledge or wisdom that I was given and how it evolved. I'll be sharing that in this class. And you can use that whether you're starting a business or have a business or you're just living your life. I didn't want to try to fit people into a box that you have to be creating a business with this. I wanted it to be, I wanted you to create your life, and inside of that life can be your business. That's up to you to decide. I didn't want to, so I appreciate that comment because I really wanted people to use this to their advantage.
Well, it seems like you really enlarged your vision about what it was that you were offering. I mean, it's like you leveled
Yes.
up.
Yes, attracting perfect customers was a specific category, let's say, in hindsight, and that I wanted to blow it out. I wanted to expand it. Just like you said, thank you for those words.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the bigger message. So, and I'll just close with it. Julie said, because I think this everybody could agree to this, good to connect with other people who are looking for new starts, finding passions now. And that sums it up really well. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions. You come back next week for my other introduction. I'm probably going to expand that out a little bit beyond our close-knit group here today. But I hope you'll play in the class. And if you have any questions, you know where I am. So thanks again for being here, and see you around.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jan.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you, everyone.
Yeah. Bye for now.